MacVoices is sponsored by Smile, the makers of world-class software like PDF Pen. Find out about all their great utilities at smilesoftware.com. MacVoices is in Las Vegas for ShowStoppers and CES. I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, I was really looking forward to stopping at the Mycroft booth, and I'm here to talk to Josh about an open source voice assistant. Is that a fair description?
Yeah, absolutely. Mycroft's an open alternative to Alexa or Siri or Google Assistant. Something that allows you to customize it, change the voice, change the name, or if you're a big corporate, to deploy your own voice assistant without spending $100 million on development.
Yeah, I don't have a spare $100 million laying around.
Yeah, I know. Apple does, though. So
oh, yeah, that's true. So I'm intrigued. An open source voice assistant, that for obvious reasons to many of us in the tech community, that has a lot of appeal. But there's also that concern over security. Since it's open source, can anybody tap in, or how is that addressed?
Open technologies have a tendency to be more secure than proprietary tech. You know, one of the reasons that companies like Microsoft constantly have security problems is because in many ways they use obscurity to secure their products. It's the fact that it's secret that prevents people from breaking into it. Open technologies, there are more eyes on the code, more people looking for bugs. They have a tendency to be more secure, which is why, you know, the security community uses Linux, not any other operating system.
So what kind of support is there for an open source voice assistant? I mean, I can understand how I could ask it the obvious questions, date, time, weather, those kind of things. But as far as some of the more sophisticated answers that people are looking for from their voice assistant now, how does it handle that?
Well, one of the dirty little secrets of the voice assistant community is that everybody is using Wikipedia data to do general knowledge query answers. And so just like the other voice assistant stacks, we work with the wiki community to get data on information like how tall is Abraham Lincoln. And then, of course, we have similar skills to the most commonly used skills. More than 90% of the interaction with voice assistants is the top 10 skills, and those are things like music, weather, traffic. You know, people very seldom get into the real wonky skills like coin flip or Jeopardy, although people do spend time there. And so we provide a really competitive experience for those top 10 skills. And then we do have a really broad global community that's developing everything from coin flip skill, like a 1 or a 0, all the way up to a music skill that allows you to rap alongside Eminem and everything in between.
Okay, I don't want to think about that. So how about the other aspect that everyone finds so appealing to voice assistants, and that's intelligent device control. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you interface with?
Yeah, we're working with a number of different IoT solutions. So I know that the community's got things working with Iris, with Home Assistant. They've got it working with if this, then that. And so, you know, because those are open APIs, anybody can connect to them, and all it really takes for us is one person in our community taking an interest and making a contribution, and then, of course, it's supported globally. So we've been very lucky to have a community of more than 30,000 developers around the world that are doing really interesting things.
So if I want to play music on this, well, obviously I'm not using the A word or the S word or any of those, but what music services, can it tap into?
So we support Pandora, which is, you know, a US focused company, and then of course the biggest in the world, which is Spotify.
Okay, great. Is this something like the Amazon device? I try not to use the names, where I have to add the skills, or do the skills just roll out automatically?
People can install skills either through our home site, so you can go to and browse through them and click on them, or through voice just by saying, you know, install coin flip skill, and it'll go ahead and install it. You know, the skills community is always, you know, experimenting and doing new things, and just like Amazon and Apple and others, you know, skill discovery is a big problem in the voice space. Like, how do you discover new skills? And it's something that all of us are working to solve.
Very nice. Talk to me a little bit about the device, because we're talking sort of esoterically here, but how about when the rubber meets the road, this is what the device looks like?
Yeah, so this is the Mark II. The Mark I was a cute little flat speaker with a little face, and it was based on Raspberry Pi. We ship several thousand of those to makers and developers around the world. The Mark II has really been developed as a actual consumer device, and so gone is the 40-pin header and the Ethernet port and the 4 USB ports. This has beamforming with 7 microphones, noise cancellation, a screen, a camera, and then we're using a Xilinx FPGA on board, which allows us to run machine learning models on device to do stuff like wake word spotting and some limited vocabulary automated speech recognition. So it's a very competitive device. It sounds great. It's got a bass port, it's got dual speakers, stereo sound, and is really being developed so that people who care about privacy, who might not have $400 or $500 for a product from a major Silicon Valley company, can deploy something in their home that's affordable and respects their privacy.
And so that leads me to the question, what kind of price?
The Mark II is priced at $189, and then sometime next year we'll be debuting a new one that minus the screen and the camera that's more in line with the price that you see on an Echo Dot or a Google Mini.
Okay, one last question, because I know you have other people need to talk to, but you mentioned camera.
Yeah.
So we're saying this is enhanced privacy,
yes,
but now there's another camera in my house.
That is true. The devices ship with a mechanical shutter over the camera, so you can actually just shut the little shutter and be done with that. And then the mute switch is actually a physical disconnect of the microphones. And so the idea is to give people the choice about whether the device is monitoring them, of course, in the home. And then importantly, if they're using our backend, we only store data as long as it's necessary to fulfill the query. So when somebody asks us to play a song, we only keep the data long enough to go out and initiate this music stream, and then it's gone. We have no data to sell to anybody, nor do we have an interest. That's not our model.
Very interesting. The website where folks can go to learn more.
Mycroft AI, please come and join our community. We have forums that are very active. We have a very active chat community, and all people need to do to get started with Mycroft is a Raspberry Pi. They don't have to buy a device from us.
We could talk for hours, but I appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you.
Folks, we'll have more from CES and ShowStoppers in Las Vegas. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our MacVoices Facebook group and get more out of your Apple Tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices and join these folks who help keep MacVoices coming to you. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.